Hello everyone, I am Nancy Naji. Welcome to our segment Hello Money. Today we'll be talking about the payday.
You have to be street smart. We all know this year. No grief for anybody is our 2024 tagline.
Hello and welcome to the program. This is Moneyline with Nancy. Thank you all for joining us again today. It's been so nice knowing that you are keeping us company, so don't go anywhere, at least for the next 55 minutes or so. We'll be keeping you up to speed with what's happening in the world of business, finance, economy, as well as our markets. So let's get started. Of course, the big story came in yesterday, but I don't know if it's good news, though. Okay. It's not entirely good news. It's not good news, actually. But let me just tell you what it is. Latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics indicates a slight slowdown in average price growth in Nigeria for July, with a year-on-year increase of 33.4%. And this marks a 0.79% decrease from the 34.19% recorded in June, though it still represents a significant rise compared to the 24.08% reported for the same period in 2023. Additionally, food prices, which have long been a major driver of inflation, decreased slightly by 134 basis points to 39.53% year-on-year, ending an 18-month streak of steady increases. The Nigeria Customs Service has been instructed to implement a 0% import duty and exemption from value-added tax on basic food items. This directive follows President Bola Tinubu's approval of these measures. The Ministry of Finance confirmed the approval in a letter to the Nigeria Customs Service dated August 8th. The Nigeria Customs Service has acknowledged this development in an official document. In response, the Comptroller General of the Customs Service, Bashir Adeni, has directed officials to begin enforcing these new regulations.
Time has come for Africa to engage in serious conversation aimed at finding answers for its problems.
My brothers and sisters, I firmly believe this mutually beneficial friendship will benefit from opportunities created by the African Economic Congress platform. And this is the reason we need to deepen democracy in Africa and empower citizens and civil society organizations.
The Central Bank of Nigeria's latest Purchasing Managers Index report for July reveals a very troubling trend in the job market, with the Composite Employment Index declining for the seventh consecutive month. Although the index inched up to 48.7 points from June's 48.3 points, it still indicates a reduction in hiring across many sectors. The report highlighted that 18 different industries experienced a decline in jobs, with the printing and related support activities sector seeing the most significant drop. Conversely, the petroleum and coal product sector recorded some job growth, suggesting that the impact on employment varies significantly between industries, despite pockets of improvement. The overall job market remains under pressure, making it difficult to sustain or expand the workforce. The federal government is preparing to issue a dollar-denominated domestic bond on August 19, targeting $500 million from both local and international investors. Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Adu, confirmed that the country and its financial advisors are ready to launch the bond, expressing optimism not only for the funds but also for the opportunity to showcase Nigerian leadership in the crucial area, noting that this initiative represents another important strategic move for the government. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, has suggested that a forensic audit of the mining sector is imminent. This move is part of a broader effort to clean up the industry and enhance investors' confidence. During a meeting with Plateau State Governor Caleb Mufwang, Alake highlighted that current reforms will introduce technology-driven solutions to improve the federal government's regulatory framework. In response to the escalating threat of mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, the federal government has intensified its monitoring and screening protocols at all entry points. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, outlined these measures in a statement issued by his Special Assistant on Media and External Relations, Tashikalama Hala, in Abuja. The new mandate requires all travelers to complete an online health declaration form before entering the country. Furthermore, infectious disease centers have been established in all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. At the Yanya market, our correspondent spoke to various traders about the old and current prices of food, considering that food inflation is still at a record high, and at the same time, took in majority of the complaints of the traders and customers who had a lot to say concerning how expensive transportation is, the insecurity surrounding farming activities, and how people can barely afford the lifestyles they lived before.
Oh, the cost of oil, red oil is 20,000. Honda is 35,000.
That fish before carton is 35,000. Now carton is 120,000. Now this very little one, now 2,500 for one. They no buy like before. Like now, if I tell person 2,700, may we bargain the price. They will shout, I never eat. This fish now is supposed to sell it in 1 month to come. Now if they watch the body, now you know fresh again.
And I think it should be 4 months back, it should be 120 or 130. Now it's 200 naira.
For each egg?
Yeah.
How about a crate?
A crate, it depends on the one you want. We have the one of 5,000, we have the one of 4,900, we have the one of 4,700 and 4,600. Well, they have the ones, like the one of 4,700 is smaller. Like them just say small, big, bigger, something like that. Yeah.
For the hike of things in town, initially we usually buy a bag of garri 14,000, 15,000, ranging to 20,000. But now, as it stands now, a lot of things have increased. Even where we used to buy it, so many things split into it, and as it stands now, a bag of garri now is 55 to 60,000. That is for white.
4,000 now, 5,000. This one 3,500, 1,500, 500, 300. This one potato, 3,500. Basket.
Sack of onions, how much it be before? How much it be now?
Before I say na 4,000.
Sack of onions, no be basket.
Basket, oh, SAS, 80,000, now 100,000.
This should be the season where we have so many of this produce coming out, but the prices are still on the high side. But we're managing. Our salaries are not just taking us, but I think God is just being our grace. If not, it's terrible. It's terrible. Take, for instance, onions. This is a time when tomato is so high, we go down to onions, because when you grind enough onions to go for your stew, it's better for you. But even the onions, you can't get it at cheap prices. Everything is 1,000 and more. So it's not easy for us. Our families are really in shambles.
Rich market, yeah. I see plenty things, but it be different for Cameroon. For Cameroon, like what? Like a fish fine, because na fresh fish. For Cameroon, na fish where they export. The as is different be the fish fine for, because for hotel where they live, they cook fish for fresh fish overnight. For Cameroon is high. Yes, and yeah, but is for yeah is cheaper. It's cheaper for yeah past Cameroon. The price of anything cheap for yeah. Sin me way at the sea. Granite way I buy is cheap. It's cheap, yes. Nigeria fine. Yes, it's fine for market overnight. Yes.
Before it cost way, before the basket tomato reach 100 something, 150. I get the one where I said 2,000, 200 before. There are 2 more, 3 more way fast. Now come I come down, it is selling 35. There long basket where that small basket is selling 35, 40. That big basket they say 50 and 45.
You go buy grande cup, 1 cup. How you go take cook? How many children you get? First you go work for market, one buy something, you go to begin cry. Eh? With the pity come pass our shop don't nearly finish. Ukuma will come stop. Because we don't know what to do again.
Everything goes down to the price of fuel. Because the farmers are not here with us in the city centers. They are where they are in the villages. So by the time the produce are transported to these places, the prices definitely go high. And everybody depends on transportation. Even my movement to this place, I had to pay, and I pay higher. So you don't expect anybody going there to buy foodstuff, bring it to the city center, and then sell it at prices that are low. It's biting. It's really, really serious.
Let's continue on the trajectory and bring in some perspectives into the inflation data that was released on Thursday by the National Bureau of Statistics. My guest is joining me now, Praise Ihasiehe, the head of research at Meristem, Nigeria. Hello, Praise, and welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me around.
Okay. Praise, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you. How are you? Good to see you.
Hello?
Yes, Praise, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, now let's get started. Inflation numbers came in at 33.4% on Thursday. Should we see this as a relief? Really, is it really good news? At the beginning, I said it's not entirely good news. It's not even good news for me because not only that inflation is at a double digit, it's at a high double digit. And reduction in the rates at which inflation climbs is different from reduction in food prices. For those of you that are economists, I'm not one, but, you know, so just explain if this should be seen as a relief.
You're very correct in saying not exactly what we are seeing. Yes, inflation rate the numbers are increasing, is beginning to decline. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So the way, I mean, the pace of growth in the inflation figure is beginning to decline, but the rate is still growing. Inflation is still growing. You still have, because 33.4% is very for any economy, you know. So, and then you go to the market. I just watched the video where you're talking to where the video was playing about marketers complaining. The market prices are still very much reflective of the fact that
okay, Praise, the network from your end is really breaking. I don't know why that is. I don't know if we should take a break for you to, for you to reconnect. But while you try to reconnect, okay, let's take a break for just a quick 1 minute and see if we can reconnect with you. All right, welcome back. Praise is still with me. Praise, please, can you land on your point earlier before the network froze on us?
Okay, yes, I was just trying to say that the truth is that like you said, it's not really a point to jubilate and say, oh, inflation is beginning to come down. The 3.4% is still a very high number for any economy, and it's just really a mathematical calculation base. It was largely expected that we would see a reduction in the rates just from the mathematical base of things. The fact that the increase last year was significantly high, so that brought down the pace of increase compared to this year.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'll come back to that, but let me ask you this question because we're seeing that food inflation influenced the headline inflation. Did you expect that to show with this current reading, or were you expecting like a lower food inflation for the reading of August that will come out in September?
No, we expected it for July. Our Meristem research actually said the 3.4%, 3.42% for headline inflation, and about 39.7% for food inflation. So we largely expected that decline in July.
Why
because
did you?
Food inflation
Why?
makes up 51% of the entire headline basket. It's based on food inflation, and then that expectation of just the mathematical base for food inflation. But then the other bit of it is that for months now we've been seeing that relative stability in exchange rates, and that has impacted that has impacted the pace of growth that we would have seen typically, if we had continued with the volatility that we're seeing before. So the food prices and all are still increasing, but the pace of growth of those imported food inflation and all that has already declined because of more stable exchange rates and then just the mathematical base of things. So it was largely expected from us.
Okay, you know what? You know what I'm actually doing here. I'm trying to calculate and postulate. We saw a 0.79% drop year on year. Praise, are you there? A 0.79% drop, yes, year on year to get us to where we were in July at 33.4%. I'm just doing a scientific, no, let me not say scientific, mathematical postulation, because we saw a deceleration from June to July. Not that inflation is not high. Inflation is high, but it is slowing at a reduced speed. Now, I'm just saying now that assuming these measures continue, assuming all things being equal that these measures continue, and will continue to decrease, let's say averagely now by 0.79% within the next 12 months. And my mathematical calculation here, I just did it now, is giving me that if we continue on this pace without anything hampering us, in the next 12 months, we will be at 23.92%. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. 0.79%, let me say averagely, times 12 months. That will give me about 9.4%. So if we say let's go on that trajectory, we will still be at 23.92% inflation by this time next year. Will that be good news? Because I'm hearing, it's a sign of relief, it's a sign of relief. I'm yet to see in Nigeria, at least in the recent years, at least since 2015, since APC came in, that inflation has really dropped drastically by perhaps 1.5% or 2%. So I'm taking that as my foundation to come up with this, not scientific now, mathematical theory, which I just came up with. I hope you understand what I'm saying, Praise. So,
I do.
So is that a relief or good news? I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So.
Actually, I mean, just like you said, right? If all things continue the way they are going, we continue to see that mathematical based effect, and of course, the relative stability in the exchange rate and other things continue to play in, which it's possible for us to get to 23% by December. But the unknown is that will all things continue the way they are going? I mean, if you ask
Do you mean by
analysts and
December this
economists,
year, December next year?
by December next year,
Aha, aha.
December this year,
No, 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 no.
December next
Ha,
year, maybe the market will
if
be
it
about
gets to that
30%.
means we are enjoying.
No, it's not. That is wishful thinking. I don't think it's possible for December this year. Most of us expect.
Wow. Okay. Network again, network again. Okay, let's see if we'll try to reconnect with Praise. But while we do that, let's just quickly take you through the markets. Of course, we saw that the local stock market continued its downward trajectory on Thursday. The all-share index is still within the 90,000 point level, precisely at 97,100.36 points there. Year-to-date return is around 29.86%. Market capitalization closed at 55.1 trillion naira. And the downward movement yesterday was largely driven by losses in Owando, Access Core, and GTCO, which overshadowed gains. We saw that Zenith Bank was also part of, the crew that led the market's downside. Market breadth, we saw it remaining negative as we saw 31 stocks in the red as against 14 in the green. Now, if we take a look at the money market, let's just take a quick look at that. System liquidity opened yesterday. The session was at around 18.64%. Open buyback as well as overnight rates declined. Analysts are expecting that rates would hover at similar levels today. For the Treasury bills markets, it was a bullish session on Thursday, while the FGN bond markets traded on a calm note. The Eurobond market, we saw some kind of mild bearish sentiment filtering into the Eurobonds market. Now let's take a look at the currency market, where the Naira depreciated by about 25 basis points to close at 1,564 Naira to $1 at the NAFEM window. That's the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange market. If we move over to the United States, where stock futures are climbing this Friday morning as investors are looking towards the end of the week, and that has ushered in recovery rally. Dow Jones Industrial Average stock futures was upside. For European stocks, they were a bit higher to round off a winning week. I think we also saw the UK inflation coming in, if I'm not mistaken. Is it UK inflation or is it UK GDP data? Okay, it's UK inflation. UK inflation came in at an uptick of 2.2% in July. And people were expecting a lower increase, while the economy recorded a 0.6% expansion. So inflation is higher there. The expansion for the UK came in at 0.6, inflation at 2.2. While in Asia, the Nikkei 225 in Japan climbed over 3%. So we're seeing that the Asian markets tracking the rally on Wall Street after U.S. economic data eased fears of a recession. Let's check out all prices for today, or as we speak, not actually for today because we're still trading. The closing numbers will come in later. All prices edging lower in Asian trade today. This morning, of course, we saw Brent futures trading at around $80 88 cents a barrel. US WTI fell to about $77. Now let's check out yellow metal, which is gold. Gold is inching higher to about $2,455 79 cents an ounce. All right, that's it for the market. Do we have praise now? I hope we have her.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, praise. All right, so continue on your point.
Yes, I was just trying to say that, just looking at that mathematical basis, we're just questioning, is this going to be sufficient to hold us till, going forward? It's not going to be sufficient. We need more action. we need, and then there's already the conversation of a lot of agriculture analysts expecting that food harvest for October, November might not be as high as what we typically see, because there was adverse rainfall in period, adverse weather conditions, and of course there's also the consideration for the protests that are going on in the northern area. Is it going to make things worse in terms of, because there's been a significant slowdown in the commodities, the food agricultural commodities space all through the time of the protests that we've been seeing in the north. So there's that consideration for the impacts that going to have. But then just going at this space that we're going, we should see us get to that point. For next year, I mean, so many other factors can come into play. Hopefully, we see the fiscal authority do more to support what the monetary authority is doing in terms of stabilizing the exchange rate, giving us more sustainable FX sources. I know that we're getting, Eurobond. There's conversation of them wanting to raise Eurobond at some point. There's currently the domestic bond that they had the call for yesterday, and so we're going to see some FX sources from these things. But then we need more sustainable FX sources in terms of revenue that would help the federal government support the exchange rate. And then if we see things continue like in positive light, but then of course there's always the threat of what's going to happen. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, yes. I think, Praise, we'll leave it at that. The network is not making us have a very fluid conversation, but I hope to talk to you soon. We'll continue to watch this space, especially now with the approval to the customs to be able to implement the food duty import waiver. Let's see if that would impact food inflation, perhaps from August down to this year, but bearing in mind that it's just for about 150 or 80 days, about 6 months. But if you take a look at that, that could be an immediate measure. What happens after, that is stopped? Would it actually also make food inflation skyrocket? But these are some of the issues I'll continue to look at in coming days. Thank you, Praise, and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, I've been speaking with Praise Ihassie, who is the head of research at Meristem, Nigeria. All right, let's move over to the next segment. The cultural and traditional heritage of Nigeria is abundant, as we see that many Nigerians have been influenced by health beliefs and practices that make natural medicine more accessible and affordable, particularly in rural areas. In Nigeria, the use of plant extracts or pure chemicals derived from plants for medical purposes has developed into a long-lasting therapeutic approach. A natural product prototype is now present in a number of pharmacological classes of drugs. The Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency was established in 1997 to enable the federal government of Nigeria through the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation actualize its critical and strategic mandate to research, develop, document, preserve, conserve, and promote Nigeria's natural medicine, that is traditional and indigenous healthcare systems, medications and non-medications, healing arts, science and technology, and facilitate their integration into the national healthcare delivery system, as well as contribute to the nation's wealth and job creation, socio-economic growth, and development efforts. My next guest is the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency. Do you know there's an agency like that? Yes, there's an agency like that. The CEO will be joining me after the break. He's Professor Martin Semeje. We'll be looking at innovations in natural medicine in Nigeria and the market potential. I guess you have an interesting conversation when we return.
The fuel subsidy was removed on May 29, 2023 by Mr. President. And at that time, the poorest 40% were only getting 4% of the value. So basically, they were not benefiting at all. So it was going to just a few. The other point I think is important to make is that nobody knows the consumption in Nigeria of petroleum. We know we spend $600 million every month on importation. The issue here is that all the neighboring countries are benefiting. So we're buying not just for Nigeria, we're buying for the countries to the east, almost as far as Central Africa. We're buying for countries to the north and we're definitely buying for countries to the west. And so we have to ask ourselves as Nigerians, how long do we want to do that for? I think that's the key issue.
Secondly, do you think that the Central Bank of Nigeria perhaps is also over-regulating the banks? Are we under Cardoso being a bit over-regulated? Or is just fair? You know, because I've spoken to the CBN governor, you know, even at the MPC, he maintains this stance of this orthodox, no, we are here for serious business, put on his jacket tight and all of that.
All right. Now, for me, the CBN has announced that we are going orthodox. And everything they've done till date has been in that direction. Which means we do what we are supposed to do. Let other stakeholders in the system do their own. Fiscal authorities, and then the banks and other financial institutions within this space that will regulate. So if everybody does its own bit, certainly we should have a stronger banking system that will support an economy that can grow strongly but also inclusively. And that is what connects to what you remarked on earlier on, that the importance of SMEs and agriculture is fundamental to the growth emphasis for Nigeria. Then, of course, two other things that are looked at internationally, and that is the support for women-led businesses and also for youth-led businesses. Those four are critical. If you want to grow the economy inclusively, that will change the narrative of the economy.
For the fact that even women, we are better borrowers.
Indeed.
Statistically,
the data is there to support that.
Yes, the data is there, so I'm not just saying it because I'm a woman.
I think, you know, there's so many headwinds we're facing in Nigeria, and obviously.
All right, welcome back to the program. My guest is joining me right now. He is Professor Martin Semeje. He's the Director General and Chief Executive Officer at the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, NNMDA. So many agencies in Nigeria. Prof, good to see you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, there are many agencies, but there's none like us.
There's none like. So what's making you?
You can see you are struggling to coordinate. NNMDA.
NNMDA.
Call us NAMDA, call us NNMDA, call us natural medicine.
Okay, natural. I think let me just go with natural medicine before I bite my tongue. You know, but why is your agency different from others?
Yes, we are different and peculiar because, and I think it's divine that we are in the time of renewed hope, because this is speaking to renewal of hope. The agency itself, even though it's been in existence for more than 25, yes, it's about 27 years old now, you know, but, you know, it has to do with culture. And the problem with Africans is, and especially Nigeria, where we come from, is that we tend to have buried our culture with colonialism. So that we had our forebears, you know, people before us who were intelligent, smart enough to establish an agency to ensure that we preserve, we conserve, and exploit our natural resources, which is linked to our culture, is something that is unbeatable. And that's why we are different.
That's why you're different.
Yes.
Now, is there a difference? Is natural medicine same as alternative medicine? And let me also land on the question, because I've read different papers, different research papers on natural medicine.
Yes.
Is it the same as alternative medicine as well as herbal medicine?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is no. And
no, with which one? Alternative and herbal?
It's not alternative.
Okay, is it herbal?
It is herbal.
Okay.
It is indigenous.
Okay.
It is nutraceutical. It is phytomedicine. Okay. It is herbs.
Phyto, because it's from plants.
Yes, it is plants.
Okay.
Okay. It is aromatic. It is spices.
Okay.
It is food.
Okay.
Okay, but it is not alternative. Why am I saying it's not alternative? Because what is an alternative? You know, an alternative is something that you take when what you are supposed to take is not available. So, I mean, I used to tell Ajia that please don't call our traditional medicine alternative. Why? Because what majority of our people have access to is the natural medicine. So the alternative is the allopathic, is the imported medicine. We can't be alternative to imported medicine. We are not alternative. Imported medicine is alternative to our natural medicine.
Why did you say so, Prof? Because if someone has malaria, for example,
yes.
okay, you talk about rural areas, and I spoke about rural areas in my intro.
Yes, I was very glad to hear that.
Thank you, Prof. You know, okay, let me say about the urban centers before I go to rural areas. For the urban centers, you have malaria. First thing you just think about going to get an anti-malaria that contains two ingredients, the artemether and the other one I've forgotten. Yes, artemisinin combination. But in the rural areas, at least with the little knowledge that I have, they'll say, go to the backyard, get dogon leaf, get soso leaf, boil it, drink it, steam for a few days, and I have actually done that too. Let me not also say that.
Most of us do it.
Did you understand? Because my mom would be like, okay, you're treating this. I had a bout of malaria some weeks ago. I've been treating. They say the malaria we have now in Nigeria is a bit resistant. I took all the now alternative drugs that you're talking about, and I did not get better. And my mom was like, what is happening now? What is happening now? Okay. She had to get some herbal,
And what happened?
I drank and I felt a bit better. When I steamed, I felt even the relief, you know, left me. So I'm just saying, but are there statistics? Is there are there studies to support this? Because some of the issues will be around herbal medicines do not really have doses as it were. You know what I'm talking about, Prof. You know that you know that okay, the dogoyaro leaf, for example. What are the ingredients in the dogoyaro leaf that are perhaps even giving one relief?
Okay.
And in what percentage should I take it and all of that?
Okay. So I'm glad you are even a testimonial, and I'm extremely happy.
I'm just using mine as an example.
Yeah, and the truth is, I commend your courage, because many educated people will not speak out this way, you know, and that is one of the problems that we have. So they badmouth natural medicine. When you talk, they begin to tell you, no, it is a babalao on the road, you know, and I tell them, because I'm a pharmacist, Western trained pharmacist, professor of pharmacy, so I can tell you the two sides very well, you know. But to tell you why I said it's alternative, you see, in our villages, in our rural communities, and I'm a typical example. I'm from a rural area called Agadiga, no hospital.
Yeah, in Kogi State.
Yes, in Kogi State, no hospital.
Up to now, no hospital.
Yes.
The governor, you should do better.
Yes, no hospital. So it's because we are peaceful people. You know, places where people are not peaceful, they give them amenities. In my village, we are very, very peaceful people. That's why they are not giving us things. Hopefully, they will start giving us soon anyway. But the point I'm making is, now in that village, for example, when people are, and this is, it's not peculiar to my village, it's a lot of, I'm talking of over 100 million Nigerians. What they have access to are these herbs, right? So it is those that have the opportunity to go to urban areas, our cities, Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Enugu. Those are the people like you, people like me, who are here. We are the ones that when you have malaria, you go to the hospital to see, because you will see a medical doctor. If you go to Okpo, which is about 20 kilometers from my village, if you go to Ankpa, these are headquarters of local government, which is about 20-25 kilometers from my village. That's where you might see one medical doctor, one medical doctor, and probably not see a pharmacist. In fact, the pharmacist I know is in Ankpa General Hospital. He's my classmate, you know, and his family is in Lokoja. You know, to tell you how all of this is panning out. So now the people, therefore, in the village are taking these herbs, which is the way our culture is, which is what our people were doing thousands of years before colonialism came. In fact, records show that about 3,500 BC, that the use of medicinal plants for healing was already in vogue. And that's what our people did before we went into Western medicine. That is the imported drugs that we have today. Now, because it is not affordable to the people in the rural communities. Anyway, now I think it's even also not very affordable to the people in town now. So because I know how many educated people, professionals and none alike, who are on my neck that I should give them products from our agency. Okay, so the truth is, getting herbal medicines is the way to go. If you look at the entire, or even developed countries, if you look at what they are doing now, you see we are all returning to nature. The statistics, I mean, you are in this area, you see that the United States of America and UK, top countries that consumed herbal medicines in 2023. The top in the world.
Yes, I saw that.
The countries that consume herbal medicines, that is the people we are copying, that we are throwing away our own culture. That is now what they are doing in those places is that they are already situating lands, farms, where they cultivate these medicinal plants and aromatic plants, so that they will stop importing from especially Asia, because you know China and Asia are the top exporters of medicinal plants. But why is that so? It is because we are not developing our own. So, so that even if I don't have time, I would have said this. I think the president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just did my work for me before coming here this morning.
How?
I was extremely happy.
But how?
Because of the statement he made yesterday in Malabo, where he said Africans, that he was encouraging African heads of states that they should have deliberate and strategic support for research and development.
Okay, I was coming to that.
And that because that the solution to our problem lies at home. Yeah. In fact, if he can just be saying that once every month, and I'm serious here, without even giving me money, you know the effect of that is that a lot of our private sector who think that government that set up an agency like this is not really interested in it, they will begin to say, oh, if the president of the country is talking like this, we need to invest in that area.
In that sector. So that brings me to the question around standardization and certification of natural medicine produced here.
Yes.
Then how do we also ensure the safety and efficacy of natural medicines before they are introduced into the market? I also know the market potential of herbal medicines globally in billions of dollars.
Let me try to address all of these, together with the issue of Dogoyaro and the dose you were talking earlier. You see, in 2024, we are no longer talking about dose. Please, see, when people tell you that herbal medicines don't have dose, it is because they don't know. Or people who know and they say it, they are deliberately being mischievous. And you know the mischief, there are a lot of things that drive people for this mischief. Let me give you a typical example. And this, I'm talking of very powerful people, including powerful companies. You see, because the way the world is running right now, for our area, I think a lot of us have become very lazy, brain lazy, that we don't want to work again. People just want to do buying and selling. So importation of finished products, importation of things to come and sell gives quick profit. So people prefer that than to work, than to work. So we are a vulnerable nation when we allow that to continue to happen. Otherwise, nobody is talking about those again. We are talking of herbal medicine, where today we are applying nanotechnology in herbal medicine, the way we apply nanotechnology in synthetic medicine, and somebody is talking about doses. No. Herbal medicine, the way we apply science and technology to getting our synthetic products, is the way we also apply science and technology to get appropriate doses, dosage forms and doses. So the way you see injections, the way you see syrups in bottles, the way you see powders that you can put in cup and add water and drink, effervescent and all of that, the way you get tablets, those white tablets that you are seeing in hospital, in the pharmacies, All of those dosage forms.
It's also done.
Yes, we also do
medicine.
it at in the natural medicine sector. In March this year, Chief Uche Naji, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, launched four oral solid dosage forms in Lagos at our agency for treatment of 4 different diseases.
What diseases are those?
Malaria,
okay.
diabetes, upper respiratory tract infection, and anti-aging product. And they are all solid.
Anti-aging, so I won't get old. I'm interested in that.
If you
know,
when
you said anti-aging.
If you know how many people are on queue. Right now, my minister is trying to put something together so that an industry and a company can take it to the market.
Now, that brings me to the issue of commercialization, and I see that our time is fast spent.
That's the problem.
No, Prof, I will bring you back.
Okay.
You know, this is like an introductory because, you know, I wanted us also to look at the potential, market potential, especially of herbal or natural medicine. And you know why I'm doing this show today?
Okay.
In my own little research,
yes,
I've seen because of the cost, the inflation, I talked about inflation before you came in.
Yes.
Inflation has actually pushed many Nigerians cannot afford the cost of medicines, synthetic medicines any longer.
Yes.
So you are seeing a lot more people, for example, diabetic drugs now are over 300%, hypertension drugs are over 300-400%.
Yes.
People can't afford normal drugs. So you're seeing people now move gradually to herbal medicine. And that is why I'm doing the show today in terms of the standardization, the efficacy, the security of it, as well as the safety and the commercialization of it. Now, for what I have now talked about in terms of demand for synthetic products is actually, it's still high, but people cannot afford it anymore. How do you think that the natural medicine sector can key in into this right now?
Okay, see, the truth is, even without the inflation, what most people can afford is this natural medicine. The problem is that the elites have colonized the country. So the voices of the poor is not being heard. That's why it looks as if people, natural medicine is not good, it's not standardized, there's no dose, because the people who come on television are the elites. The people who talk and people hear, the people who go to conferences, who go to Transcorp, go to Sheraton to do conferences and write reports, the people that international organizations we engage as consultants to be writing reports, all those, these are the educated people who go to hospitals, but most of our people, and studies have shown that at least 80% of our people around the world, not just Nigeria, is traditional or natural medicine that is their preferred means of livelihood. Because, you see, and look at 80% of 200 million. 160 million people. So, but you know, 40 million vocal people can actually make it look like the 160 million people are not existing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
If you go to, and what I usually tell people, and journalists especially, because you are very key in our work in natural medicine, because this is like reorientation. This is like telling people that you need to look back to where we have been
to be able to go forward,
in order to go properly forward. Okay? Now, I say, look, let all of us who are speaking English, who are speaking grammar, let everybody go to his or her village. Take the picture of the hospital in your village. Let the doctor, the pharmacist, the nurse, the medical officer, the health of care practitioners in that hospital, let them stay there. Take their picture. Come and show us. Let's know how many people have health personnel in how many people even have hospitals.
So what are those people doing then if they don't have access to medical facilities, as it were? That's your argument.
Natural medicine.
So that means there must be something that they're doing to heal themselves.
That's natural medicine that they use. So our job is, you see, in terms of standardization, it's no longer an issue. It's no longer, in fact, as I'm talking to you now, the USP promoting quality of medicine, you know, the vice president of PQM in the world is a Nigerian, Jude Mokike. They are currently in my compound in Lagos. Training my people on quality of herbal medicines. How to assure quality of herbal medicines, and that will result in certification.
Okay. Okay.
So all
DG,
the ISO certifications, whether it is the 17025, whether it is the 9001, whether it is the 22000 for the food safety management system, all of them, we are geared towards it. We are getting them. We already have one, and we are going to get them. So standardization is not an issue. We have passed that. What we need now is to decolonize the brain of Nigerians.
Okay,
yes.
Prof, I think we'll need
have
to
a role to play
Prof,
in
I think we'll need to do this show again. We'll plan on it because a lot of people are sending messages. People are saying, oh, I should ask you cures for ulcer, cures for different things. But I promise our people I'll bring Prof back because I know we can't answer that question now. We've got to.
Because I have the answer, so.
Prof, you will come back.
Okay. I have the answer. So if you go to my compound, see, at NNMDA in Victoria Island, Kofa Bayomi, right, as I'm talking to you now, my researchers, they sleep in the lab.
Okay.
Nobody is giving them any extra salary. Okay. I'm saying it very clearly now. Go there 12 a.m., 12 midnight, 1 a.m., you will see, because on their own, there's roster, and people sleep in the lab. Because this is our passion, this is our calling.
Prof, I'll bring you back. Just hold it. We'll talk again some other time. We have to go. The news is up next, so I'll bring you back again. I've been speaking with Professor Martin Emeje, who is the Director General and Chief Executive Officer at the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency. I promise our viewers will try and bring Prof back with his own, if he agrees. I see that Prof is not happy. But Prof, we've got to go. Be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. I am Nancy Nadia. I'll see you all again next week. Bye now. Hello everyone, I am Nancy Naji, a financial journalist, the anchor of Moneyline with Nancy on AIT. Today I'll be talking about smart savings tips for students.
Great Nigerian students. Great. Very good.
So attention students, hold your ears so that you can say goodbye to financial struggles. Number one, calculate your income. Know how much money is coming in so that you can set a realistic budget. Number two, track your spending. Monitor monthly expenses to identify areas for potential savings. Number three, set financial goals for yourself. Establish short and long-term goals to guide your budgeting efforts. Number four, compare your income and expenses. Ensure that your income covers your essential needs, adjusting spending accordingly. Number five, buy second-hand items if you can. And if I know you can, so save money by purchasing used items, especially books that are expensive items for you while in school. Number six, cook your meals. Cut costs by limiting dining out. Cooking at home is not only economical, but promotes self-care. I'll see you all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy. Join us on our program on AIT too. Hello everyone, I am Nancy Naji, financial journalist. I'll be talking about common money mistakes to avoid. Number one, ignoring financial challenges. Tough times, of course, bring discouragement, but don't let it lead you to overlooking financial issues. Make 2024 the year for financial organization. Address and understand your financial concerns. Seek advice from professionals to gain insight and clarity. Number two, avoid over-concentration in investments. Don't put your investments in one basket. Placing all your financial resources in a single investment or sector poses risk of financial losses. Experts advise diversifying your portfolio across various assets like stocks, bonds, real estate, and more for better risk management. Number three, neglecting an emergency fund. The lessons we learned in 2020 from the COVID-19 pandemic emphasize the necessity of an emergency fund. It serves as a crucial safety net for unexpected events like job loss or unforeseen medical expenses. Even starting with small contributions can lay the foundation for this essential financial cushion. Number four, open communication about family finances. Discussing money matters within the family, especially between spouses, is very vital. Understanding each other's approach to money and responses to financial situations foster clarity. So if your husband is the prudent type that knows about investment, he can handle issues about money. If your wife is the same, she can handle issues about money. But joint discussions enable better family financial decisions
including involving grown children, establishing a clear understanding of the family's financial standing. I'll see you all again in the next video. I hope you've learned common money mistakes to avoid in 2024. I'll see you all again. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy TV. Hello everyone, I am Nancy Naji, the anchor of Moneyline with Nancy on AIT. Today I will be talking about January federal government savings bonds. The Debt Management Office has introduced 2 new savings bonds for subscription at 1,000 naira per unit. These are the initial offers for 2024, with one being a 2-year bond set to mature on January 17, 2026 at an interest rate of 11.033% per annum. The other is a 3-year bond maturing on January 17, 2027 with an interest rate of 12.033% per annum. Both bonds are open for subscription. They've been opened from Monday, January 8th, and they will last till Friday, January 12th, with a settlement on January 17th and coupon payments on April 17th, July 17th, October 17th, and January 17th. Investors can subscribe starting from a minimum of 5,000 naira and in multiples of 1,000 naira thereafter, with a maximum subscription of 50 million naira. Interest is paid quarterly and the principal amount is repaid in full upon maturity. These savings bonds, like other federal government securities, are supported by the full faith and credit of the federal government and secured against Nigeria's general assets. What are you waiting for? As little as 5,000 naira, you can invest. Check out your licensed bank or your stockbroker. I'll see you in the next video.